got a copy of the minutes from June, what is it? June 17th. Did you get a copy?
I don't believe I do.
Okay. Take a look at it. I've already kind of read through it. We just need to decide if we think we're good to go there. Michael, did you get a chance to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already read it?
Yep.
Okay.
All,
You get a motion second?
oh, motion, sorry.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Ayes.
Aye.
Nays. We're good. Approved.
No opposition.
So now we're open for business.
I'm Jim Dowd, I represent Historic, I'll be representing them from now on.
Okay.
I've been
Excellent.
volunteered, so.
And then tell me your name again?
Tim Dowd.
Tim. Okay. I know we've met. I just had.
Yeah, my wife's in charge of the parades and all that
Okay.
stuff. So.
Okay.
And I've been going to city council meetings for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. Y'all were involved in the light fixtures and stuff, right? Did you?
I was the one who got that going, and
Yeah.
it took a while because of COVID, and then they had the hurricanes, but we finally got them in. So.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. We appreciate
They
it.
came out of Alabama. So
Yeah.
trying to
Good.
keep them
Good.
local.
Yeah.
You know, one of the problems with those, at some point, I don't know how you're gonna straighten that out. We were lucky when we put those in years ago to have them at all. And when they were put in, a lot of them are wired into those buildings rather than being on a circuit to themselves. At some point, if they could get them all on, because those,
That would have to be trenched out.
those,
and run
yeah,
through the street.
those individual,
whole nother
those
level of
individual
effort, yeah.
businesses won't turn them on when you
Yeah.
can't expect them to, if you want to.
You know, that would be good to tie. I think at some point they're going to have to grind the road and the square down because they've paved it so many times. It's so high, then that would be something to maybe to.
When we
You
did
wouldn't
those,
have to go that deep as long as you pour a slurry over it.
Yeah.
I just
And-
made, just an observation.
The other thing was, I pointed out to him and said, I'm available for the historic commission for volunteer to fill in if you need anybody.
Okay.
I'm retired.
That's-
I
yeah.
have more expired credentials that I ever
Yeah.
want to talk about. And John Joe knows.
And is it Dowd?
Yes,
Dowd.
Tim Dowd.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Michael
So if
just
you need
started.
anybody, or
Yeah,
I'm available, I'm retired, and I don't do much except go to the doctor, so.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you for coming. Bernadette, I think you're here to address us for the. Is it 3? What is that? 3?
For signage,
Right. For what's the address?
it's 308.
308. You'd think I would know. When you know, I would have to recuse myself from this one, right? Or would I?
I wouldn't think so. What do you think, Tom? He owns the building, essentially, is what he's saying. He and,
It has nothing to do with the building.
With the right. Okay. Good.
yeah.
What I would do is declare.
Just make that note that.
Make
Yeah.
that note.
Okay.
That you are the owner of the building, but you do not feel that it will pose.
Conflicts, yeah.
From
Okay.
the standpoint of
You're not in ownership of the business or anything.
Right. Okay. Good. All right. Go ahead. You can do it from there. You can use the podium if you'd like. Or,
There,
yeah.
last name, Bernadette.
Wolf, W-O-L-F-E.
I'm going to say that for the record. What's your last name, Bernadette?
Wolf.
Bernadette Wolf?
Yes.
Okay.
With an E.
And your husband's John, right?
Don.
Don.
And he is
Yeah.
also in there, he's a chiropractor.
Yeah. Right. Okay. You want to? I mean, I guess does everybody know what they're doing there? Or?
I think this is, the graphic here shows what you want. This is the sign you propose.
Yeah, I've already got the window graphics on there, so we want to put a sign up above because I have so many people saying, where are you? Because if there's cars parked in front of my shop, especially like work trucks, you can't see anything. So we need a little more visibility up above.
Tom will refer to you on this a little bit.
Yeah, on
See
scale.
problems with
yeah.
the variance on that, any variance with what
See,
we're
there
doing?
are already holes up there, so they've scaled it to match those holes, so we wouldn't have to put any additional, holes into the brick.
She stayed outside of the windows.
Doesn't mess with the
She's
window.
staying outside the windows in the rhythm of the second story, so that's good. I don't think, based on the scale of the sign, that it's gonna be in violation. I got the sign regulations here. Give me just a moment. I'm always kinda behind a step or two when I come down here.
That's
'cause
good, that's good.
I don't know what the agenda is before I get here many times. Commercial industrial that's decorative flags.
8 by 33, 8 feet by 33 inches.
So the sign is 22 square feet and the building frontage is 23 linear feet.
Yeah, got it right here.
Hold on, I get to the right part. Wall mounted signage should not extend above the roof line or top of the parapet wall. No problem with that. No permanent on premise freestanding sign may be located in the required rear setback. Not a problem. It appears to be compatible to me with the building. On premise in residential, let me get non-residential. Wall mounted signage for commercial developments. In all commercial developments, whether development has a single or multi-family occupant, each independent business or use having an outside public entrance may have wall mounted signage in an amount equal to 1 square foot per 1 linear foot of the front face of the business. You said it's 23 square foot?
23 linear feet, the sign is
23 linear feet, and the sign's 22, so that would suffice. And it cannot exceed 30 square feet.
Regardless of the linear feet,
This is 22 square feet.
yeah.
Right. And if there's another business in there that they
They'd
do
have
it,
to
they
share.
can get, they're eligible for an additional wall sign.
There wouldn't be another business necessarily, and that's a single unit, pretty much occupant. to that.
Yeah, it's,
I can't fit any more in there.
you wouldn't foresee needing the need for another exterior sign.
Not at all.
What are your business hours, just out of curiosity?
Well, we've gone kind of back and forth, but we're pretty much Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
Okay, have you considered any type of uplighting on the sign or anything?
Well, I would like to get some because it is pretty dark there, and it would also shine a light on the sign. It would give it a little, obviously more.
Well, uplighting or downlighting, either one, I guess, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I have inquired about it, but we just haven't wanted to get the sign.
That may be something you would need to come back to them for if you ever decide to get it, unless you guys choose to give her some direction tonight, and if she can stick with that, she doesn't have to come
I mean,
back.
I would think that's something we could address. That's something that my conflict of interest might have to weigh in on that before
That's
I
true.
say here.
That is true, because that is actually
yeah.
an improvement to the building.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But
I'd have to understand what and
the
where
only reason
and
I bring
how
it
and
up is
all,
with
yeah.
those types of business hours,
Yeah,
particularly with us still rotating back and forth between daylight savings and standard
Right.
time.
Yeah,
And even in
sometimes-
daylight savings right now, you can tell it's already getting dark out.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
and sometimes I do have one staff member that's there. I never let one person stay there, but
Yeah.
that
Mm.
forces me to have to be there at night when it closes. So if we did have a light out there, I'd feel much better, because before it starts, at dusk, we can pull the
Does
car
the
out in front.
street lighting not adequate
No,
or,
it's down by Dainty Darling a little bit.
yeah.
There's one, but none of them
Are they all working on that side or are
I
they?
think so.
Yeah.
That's,
There weren't any directly in front of our.
I was actually
shop or on the sides.
on another matter talking with the chairman about businesses and the need for lighting and the need for activity, particularly in small towns. You know, when people are getting home from work, the traditional business hours of 8 to 5
Yeah.
are not often adequate to make for successful business. So I applaud the fact that you're open till 6 or 7 when you can be, COVID notwithstanding. You know,
Yeah,
that's
we
messed
were
up
open
everybody.
there till 7.
But
Yeah.
but if you're going to be open like that, lighting many times represents activity to people that are driving by.
Yes,
So
yes.
Yeah,
No, it's very important.
and safety.
We really care about our people that work for us and always try to keep them
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
So that's why I always have the 2-man rule there.
Excellent,
Yeah.
okay. Any other thoughts from you guys?
Questions?
It
I mean-
appears that it meets with the sign requirements, which is actually a planning commission or zoning related issue. In regard to historic preservation criterion that we go by at present, I really feel like it's complementary to the intent of the historic preservation ordinance in terms of what Donna and Pat have put together here. It's got somewhat of.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this.
Well, let me make one suggestion, and this is,
Let me hold my motion.
I just want to make one comment, and it's just me. Would you consider putting a black frame or border on it?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm okay. If I
Okay.
can get a little more.
yeah, I think it just gives it,
This is like this.
that's,
Yeah.
would it actually, yeah, but on the drawing, it doesn't seem to have one.
You can't really see it on Donna's mock-up of it, but yeah, it does have a painted border around the
Yeah.
outside.
Maybe make it a little thicker.
Or could it be dimensional? Could it be like like a 1 by 2 or something that
Yeah.
frame, just to give it, I guess, to give it a little bit more presence?
Sure, I like
Yeah,
that.
The
yeah.
mock-up doesn't show that, does it, on the building?
Not well now.
Well,
You've
it's
got it
there, but
here,
it's very,
yeah.
it's so small scale you can barely see
So
it.
you
Yeah.
got it here
Yeah.
on the
If you had a
actual.
magnifying glass,
I
you might
see
be able
what,
to see it.
they've done an inset border. I think just if it was almost like a black frame, it would just pop it out off the wall a little bit, yeah. And I don't think it would be.
Are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
What is the base material? I should have asked that.
Do you know what it is?
It's that Metal Max, it's a aluminum, aluminum PVC sandwich.
Okay.
So it's really lightweight then,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's lightweight, but it's durable.
Yeah, and it'll, hold the weather pretty much.
Is there any?
I think that's all the only comments I have.
Discussion.
In Steve's
I like
absence,
that.
Yeah, it's
We
Steve.
might-
in Steve's absence,
You-
I'm gonna lean on my architectural professional here.
Yeah.
Is there any particular way that they should consider attaching it to the building?
Well, obviously, if there are pre-existing anchor points, then that would be great, if that works out.
Yeah, they
So
sized
it
for
probably
that.
needs to be through bolted, yeah, so with some kind of non-corrosive, galvanized type thing.
Stainless or something?
Something, yeah.
I'm sorry, that's what it's-
It's right, and if they wanted to, they could touch up the bolt heads to be the background, whatever if the background's gonna be white, touch them up to be white, so they maybe don't
Yeah, so
stand
they
out.
Don't
Yeah,
stand out.
yeah, mhm,
Yeah, I love this. I
Yeah,
love the
okay.
border right there. That's
yeah,
great.
okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So
All right.
I move that we adopt this with the agreement of the business owner with black border and bolt heads that are attaching the color of the area of the sign they are in. I'll make that motion. Did you get it, Ms. Secretary?
So either the white or the black is what it would be.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then what about the lighting?
I think we'd have to address that at another issue, because that's
Yeah.
something I think I would want you,
Get it up
you
first.
and I and Bill to sit down and talk about, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you want to go ahead and get the sign going, yeah, I'm
Okay,
sure.
perfect. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yay.
All
Thank you
against?
so much. Appreciate it.
Ayes have it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
You're doing very
Thank you
well,
for-
sir.
yeah.
Feel the love.
Yay.
Thank
By the
you.
way, in case you don't know, we have chiropractic, massage, and manicure and pedicure.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking part in the historic preservation process. It's every business owner that does that just helps solidify that people need to come before this.
Yeah,
board.
and if you get the opportunity to
Yeah.
tell everybody how easy it was.
Well, I have great neighbors who have advised me, so they're great people I'm working with, so it's made it very easy.
All right, thank
Looks
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate
Yeah.
it. And by the way, Bill did say whatever the committee voted on, he was all for.
Perfect, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have to leave, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
thank you very much.
My husband's been down for a week. I gotta get him home so we can lick his wounds.
Thank you, Bernadette.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Have a good night. You too, be careful.
All right, is there any old business that we'd want to talk about?
The only thing I'll bring up is I've been in conversation on at least a couple of occasions with the winery, Delmonico, is it Delmonico?
Monaco.
Delmonico Winery. As you know, they made a big splash and came to town and got opened up, and then lo and behold, in pretty short order, the building got sold out from under them, and I guess their lease ended. And so they had, I guess, been left stepping and fetching, trying to get to a new location, and they at least proposed, I've not been down here to see, but they've at least proposed that they're gonna go into the old, the old building.
The
that
old REA Express building.
that Abacus Mortgage was in at one time, and the ice cream shop, I think they're actually going into the space the ice cream shop was in.
Yeah, I think that's what you'd say.
And I advised them that any exterior modifications they did with regard to signage or anything else like that needed to come before this board. They told me that at this time, they are not making any modifications to exterior signage. They may be putting up a banner at present to show their new location.
That's what they've done. There's
But-
been a banner up in the yard indicating
Yeah.
that they were there.
But I'm gonna need y'all's help. As you may or may not be aware, I'm somewhat over zoning enforcement in partnership with the police chief on certain matters for Watertown right now. I need to get a written agreement to that effect, but we are where we are. I'm trying to help where I can for zoning enforcement. So if they make any moves towards permanent signage or permanent modifications, it might be just good to go in there without alerting me, even to just, say, hey, you might want to come before us before you get too far down the road on this.
They're a long way.
They seem to be very willing participants in our process in the past, and I don't see why they wouldn't be here.
Right.
But it just kind of made me a little bit apprehensive that they're moving in somewhere, and they're gonna have signage for people to know where they're at.
Did they set up? Do y'all know if they did?
No.
Just for the trains, they're just doing.
But they were there.
Yeah.
They were there, but they've not set up as elaborate as they were the other. Not at all. Not
So
yet
do
anyway.
you think their intent is not to come
I
back in
really
a
don't
permanent
know.
fashion?
I'm really not sure they know what their intent is. They have some sort of an agreement on the building, but they haven't made any move toward a layout as nice as they had at the other place yet. They've only been down there for about maybe 3 weeks or so, so it's
Okay.
all kind of temporary right
Well,
now.
she was very nice in my conversations with her and everything else. I don't want to make it out like there was any problem.
Did they take
I was
out
just-
a business license or?
I believe they did. She was calling, I can't remember exactly why she called to talk to me to begin with, to let me
Some
know.
way they've got to.
I think she was wanting to make sure that the zoning would allow it.
Yeah, and they've got to
Um,
go before the state on their liquor license. By moving, they've got to
That's correct. That's why she was contacting me, is because they were changing address, they had to modify their liquor license or get a new one. And they had to have some kind of indication that zoning was correct, and it was. But in the process of that discussion, I did make her aware.
They came before us with the signage issue
Right.
when they first went in down there.
It's kind of unfortunate that they got here and
Got all
things kind
set
of moving
up.
around.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't really know, I understand that. I don't know if this is the right forum to spread rumors, but I heard that that someone in Lebanon was trying to entice them there.
I think there's been some talk about
You've had a couple of businesses that have moved out of Watertown to Lebanon in
Yeah.
recent months.
Sassy Pecan moved down
Yeah,
there.
and she's in business there, evidently doing well.
We'll see.
All right.
That's all I have, sir.
Any new business or anything we wanna? talk about it.
Do we need to talk about these more stringent regulations we've been discussing, Tom? Are you at a place where we can do that?
I have not made any corrections to typos. I'll be honest with you guys.
That's
The
okay.
county is putting me to task lately with regard to land use plan amendments and stuff like that. So-
Would it be appropriate if we just ask you to review that and scale it a little bit, maybe a little down a little bit? And when you get to that point, notify our chairman, and then we can set up a meeting to talk about it. Would that work?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, or he can notify me when he.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the chairman in particular, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I think you're anxious to get that off the plate. It's
Yeah.
been there a
I would
while.
like for us to resolve it. It's been a long time
Yeah.
coming, and it would be nice to.
We're closer now than we've ever been, and we
Right,
certainly
right.
need to go ahead and follow through.
Right.
Even if you passed it with known grammatical edits that need to happen, we can take care of that as time goes on.
But-
The one thing I would like to get on it, and I could break down and try to do something. It's been a while since I've illustrated something, but I have illustrated like the design review manual in Hendersonville. I did some illustration for downtown
Yeah.
Gallatin on my thesis project, but that's 20 years ago. So my graphic skills are both out of practice and probably out of fashion,
Let
since
me-
most of them are hand drawn instead
Yeah,
of.
but that's a good thought. Let me put this on there. Tim, you here maybe kind of representing historic Watertown.
Yes.
We'd always talked about finding a source to pay someone to create those illustrations. Would there be potential for historic Watertown maybe to come up with some
I know
funding?
several people who could do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It would depend on what the parameters are.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, how much they're willing to pay them, if they're gonna get, you know.
And the amount of work, understanding the
Yeah.
amount of work and what
Yeah.
that.
Probably need to involve Tom in that, in that he's he's gonna have to direct whoever does this as to how those should turn out, I would think.
I'm not trying to keep you from doing it. I'm just trying to figure out if
No, well,
you know, that you stay
I'm
so
cautioning
covered
you-
up.
I'm
Yeah.
cautioning you that,
Yeah.
A, it'll take you a long time,
Yeah.
and two,
Yeah.
you're being brought up, not being exactly
Yeah.
what you would.
If
Well,
you-
I think they can be as they don't need to be complicated. I think
It's
they
not
need to
gonna
be
be-
simple and illustrative. You
It's
know.
not gonna be like, is that a man or a turtle? You're
Yeah.
just one step above that.
There are several artists in town that are willing to do it, and my son's an architect, he's Brandon, or lives at Redwood, so he has access to all the graphic machines.
Right. This is what I've always come back to. It's stuff like this, just line drawings, line work, that kind of thing. It's to illustrate the concept of each of the
Of the points or requirements.
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
that'd be-
I would maybe task you to come up with a list of.
Okay.
We need one for this, we need one for this, and it's, it's illustration 1A, 1B, whatever, however.
Okay.
But that would be a good way to start, and then it becomes something that somebody could understand what's involved or whatever. Because it would be someone, reading that guideline and then illustrating something to go with it, so,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, maybe next time y'all meet, you could at least put that on the table and just see if there's any, from through historic Watertown.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm also part of the artist guild, so I can find some people that are willing to do it.
Yeah,
That are good
yeah,
at drafting and stuff.
right. We had talked one time about approaching the high school,
Yeah.
arts,
Yeah.
and maybe seeing if one of their kids want to take it on, like a senior or something as a,
We just need to get something going on it to get it done.
yeah. Because they would have to be integrated into a document too.
Right.
So they, yeah.
So I guess what we're waiting on first on this, at this point, is for Tom to go through this thing and come up with the illustrations and any modifications on the regulations themselves,
Right.
and then go from there. Does that make sense? And then you just, when you two get together, when you get where you've got time to come up with what we need and any changes you want to make or recommend making in the text of the of the regulations, and then we can go from there.
Maybe we work toward, first of the year, like January or something, as a
That sounds like
potential
reasonable to you?
goal. Yeah, well, you know, we could, I don't know, unless we had a reason to meet again this year, I don't know.
Just who, depends on what comes in, you know?
Right, because we have kind of just been doing it more on an as-need basis, I guess.
One other thing I will bring up that indirectly involves y'all is, I have been tasked with updating the county's land use plan. You may not be aware of this, but one of the gateways, the last land use plan was based on gateways to the county. One of the last gateways that we did, in part because I knew that it had been a long time since anybody had looked at Watertown, was Watertown. So what we're looking at doing this time is taking the county in quadrants. We will probably start in the southwest quadrant because that's the one we're having the most attention.
840.
840 and Stewart's Ferry, Coles Ferry, Stewart's Ferry, Castle Pike. And then probably pretty quickly I'll move to the northwest quadrant and may even have to break it up in northwest, central, and east. Northwest is pretty dormant because most of the stuff's developed over there. The north central part of the county is pretty active as well. But at some point over the next year and a half, I anticipate being at a point where we'll be focusing back in on the southeast quadrant, which would include Watertown. And I don't anticipate taking away from what we've already had in the previous land use plan. I think I'll still focus generally on gateways, Watertown being one of them. But we may want to take a more comprehensive look at the land use direction for Watertown, because we're getting a lot more zoning requests now than perhaps we did 15, 20 years ago. You are starting to see growth migrate this way, and there's no time like before everything blows up to at least kind of get a good direction for where you want to see different land uses in your county, in your city.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Excellent, yeah, that's awesome. All right, anything else? Anybody want to make a motion to?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Bam, we're done.
Yeah, and then,